Hello, I am Víctor Paredes. I'm the product manager of Moho, and in this tutorial I want to show you how to create and how to animate using Vitruvian Bones. Vitruvian Bones are a new kind of bone that allows you to switch between different sets of bones and also between different content or different artwork. So for instance, in this character we can switch between different kind of arms by simply using a shortcut here. So we can create different kind of animation, and the same for the legs. And you can even use Vitruvian Bones to change entire bodies. So in this case I can change from here, which is a very simple character of 2 bones, to this one, and this is all contained in the same character. So the idea with Vitruvian Bones is to have rigs that could work in a way that can look more similar to traditional animation. So and we have simpler but more powerful rigs. So for instance, we have this drawing inspired in the Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man drawing, and you can see this character has different arms and legs, and you can switch between them. And originally, if you have this character made in previous versions of Moho, it will be very hard to get this kind of bending for the legs, for instance, or bending for the arms too, because they are actually different drawings being switched during the time. So let me show you how to create your own Vitruvian Bones. In this case, I have this same character in a very simple rig. It's very clean, and actually it's not working very well right now. It's a very basic rig, and we have 3 different arms for this rig. So we have this arm 1, this one. I have a second arm here, which you can see it's a different drawing, and I have another layer here, which is a third arm. Let me hide the other 2 first to show you this. And you can see this third arm is actually, it has one part in front of the body and a second part behind the body. Okay, so we are going to create Vitruvian Bones for this. So the idea is we will see only one of these arms at a time. So let me hide the third arm first and the second one, and I will start rigging the first arm, and I will rig it as normal in Moho. So with the select bone tool, I will select the chest. So now I will go to the add bone tool, and I will start adding bones for the arm. I selected the chest because the new bones I will create will be children of the chest. So I will start adding 1, 2, and 3 bones here. Okay, and now I will modify the strength here with the bone strength tool to reduce it a little bit. And now I will select, and this step is very important because this is what makes Vitruvian Bones to work. So I will select the vector layer of the arm. It can be a bitmap layer too, there is no difference really for this. So we select the vector layer for the arm. I go to the select bone tool here, and using shift I will click on one of the bones, then I will press shift and I will select the other 2 bones. So basically I am selecting the 3 bones of the arm. Once I do that, I need to go to the menu bone and use selected bones for flexi binding. So I click this, and you can see now these bones appear bold, and that means this arm will move only with the strength of these 3 bones. It will ignore every other bone or any other bone. Okay, so now if I go back to the bone layer, you can see how my rig is working so far. It's not working really well, really, but we can rig this better, of course. So now we can rig it once we have this, we can rig it as normal. I can select the vector layer of the arm. I can select the bind point tool, and with this tool I need to select the bone first, and to select a bone I need to press Alt or Option in the keyboard and then click over the bone I want to bind points, and now I will select the points I want to bind. In this case I want to bind these 3 points. I'm using the lasso mode, by the way, that's why I can create a lasso here, and then press bind points. So now these 3 points will be bound to this bone. And now I will do something similar with this bone. So I will hold Alt and click this, select these points here and bind. And now I will do something similar here, these points. Okay, so this is one way to rig. You can rig whatever way you want. So now the character is working a bit better. It's not perfect yet, but we can also create a smart bone if we want. So I will just go to the bones, to the select bone tool. I have the bone layer selected, and I will go to Window, Actions. So I have the Actions window here, and I will create a new action with this bone selected, so the action will have the same name as the bone. So now this is a smart action, and I will go around second 8, and I will tell the software every time this bone rotates here, the points of the arm will move in this way. So now I selected the vector layer of the arm, and I'm using the transform point tool, and I can modify that, and I can modify the curvature also if I want, or I can modify any value. In this case point position and curvature will be enough. So let's suppose I want this. Okay, so let's say this is working better. So once I have that done, I can go back to the main line by pressing double click here, and now I can create a second action for the other direction. So I will do the same. I will tell the software every time this bone rotates to the other side, the points will move like this. So this is this is how a normal smart bone works. This is not new content, and you can find many tutorials about the smart bones. But anyway, if you have any questions about this, please ask it in the comments. So let's suppose I want this. So now I go back to the main line again, select the bone layer, and now if I test my character with the manipulate bone tool, you can see it's bending in the way I want. Okay, but anyway, this is not a tutorial about rigging, it's a tutorial about Vitruvian bones in specific. So let's rig the second arm. So I will try to do it faster. For the second arm, I will just hide the first one. I will go to the bone layer, select the chest again because I want the bones to be children of the chest. And now with the add bone tool, I will create 3 bones here. I will select the arm and select the select bone tool, and I will select with shift these 3 bones and repeat the process here in bones. Use selected bones for flexi binding, or I can press the shortcut here, Ctrl Shift F or Command Shift F. Okay, and now this is rigged, and then I can modify the bone strength. I can test it with the manipulate bone tool, and I could start rigging it better, create smart actions, binding different points, but I will leave it as it is right now. And now I have 2 arms here. Okay, so now I will create a Vitruvian group for this arm, and to do this is actually very easy. I just go to the Vitruvian Bones tool here, and with the Vitruvian Bones tool I just select the first bone of each arm. Okay, so I have these 2 bones selected, and once I have them selected, I can go here to the button group, and that's it. Now I have a Vitruvian bone selected, and here you can see you can show one or the other. So you have this menu here to select, and actually it shows you the name of the bone. So if you want, you can select this bone and you can tell it this is arm 1, and now if I go to the menu here, it will appear as arm 1 instead of the other name it had by default. So now I will call this arm 2. Okay, so that's it. That's the Vitruvian bone already made. And you can also, if you don't want to go to these menus, you can be working with any tool. So let's suppose I'm using the manipulate bone tool and I want to switch the bone, and I can just select the bone and press Alt C or Alt V, and that will switch the bones. Okay, but now we have a third arm, and let me show this arm here. So this arm is made with 2 layers, and let me just hide the first arm just because I don't want to see it for now. So again, I will select the chest, and now I will go to the add bone tool, and I will create 3 bones for this arm, here, here, and 1 for the hand. Okay, it's not very clear here, but we have the 3 bones, and we need to repeat the process. So I select the vector layer of the arm. In this case, let me show you, this is only this part of the arm. So what I will do is I will go to the select bone tool, and I will select the 2 bones of the arm, not the first one, and I will go to bone, use selected bones for flexi binding, and now I will select the other layer of the arm, and in this case I want this layer to move only with this bone, so I will select only this bone and repeat the same process, use selected bones for flexi binding. Okay, so once I am done with that, now I have my rig working. It won't be very beautiful really, but it's something. I can modify the bone strengths. Again, I can bind some points. So let me just bind the entire hand to the main bone, to the hand bone, sorry. So I will just use the bind points tool, and I will select some of the points and bind it, and maybe then I will bind these 2 points to this other bone. Okay, so I'm just trying to quickly rig this. So let's suppose I'm happy with this. Okay, but now we need to add this new arm to the same group, to the same Vitruvian group we created. So to do that is actually very simple. I just go to the Vitruvian bone tool. I select the first bone of the Vitruvian group, and then I select the first bone with Shift. So I select both. I select the first bone of the new arm, and now I simply press the plus button here, and that's it. Now this new arm is also part of the Vitruvian group, so I can switch them in time, and that's all. So now you can just animate this. And to animate Vitruvian bones, we added new 2 channels to the timeline. So let me show you how it works. So if I go beyond frame 0, for instance, I go to frame 24 and I rotate the bones of the arm. So let's suppose I do this and then move this, a new channel will appear, and you can see it here. Let me just select this bone. A new channel will appear here, and this is called Vitruvian Bones Consolidated. And what this channel shows me is that it puts keyframes everywhere where it shows keyframes everywhere where there is movement in the Vitruvian groups. So it doesn't matter if the arm 1 or 2 or 3 is moving. If there is any keyframe on any of the arms, it will show me a keyframe there. So this is very useful because if I switch, for instance, the Vitruvian bone here, and then maybe I move this here, and then I switch it again and I move the other arm here, this channel shows me, even when the bones are not visible, it shows me the keyframes of the bones that are not. It shows me the keyframes of the bones that are not visible at the time. So if I want to modify my animation, I can simply select also this channel and move it or change the timing or do whatever I want with it. So I can change the entire animation even if the bones are not visible at the moment. Now we have a second channel here, this one, the Vitruvian Bones channel, and this channel shows me every time a bone has switched to another one. So for instance, we have this keyframe here, and this shows me that there is a switch here of bones. So if I select this and if I move this channel, I can make the switch to happen before or after. So we have the general channel that shows me that the bone has, or the group of bones has some movement, and we have the other channel that shows me that there is a switch on the bones. Okay? And now we have the same channels here in red, and this channel is actually very important. It's not so important in this example, but this red channel shows me the keyframes only of the group I have selected. If I have any of the bones selected of one group, it will show me the keyframes of that single group only. So it works in the same principle. It shows me the general movement here in the selected Vitruvian bones consolidated, or it shows me the selected Vitruvian bones. So it shows me the switch every time there is a switch of bones. Okay, so in this case, since this is the only Vitruvian group we have in this character, this channel is not so important. But if I go to the full version of this character, you can see I have four Vitruvian groups, one for each arm and one for each leg. Right, so if I want to see the animation only of one leg, for instance, I can select the leg here, and here you can see the keyframes of the leg only. So if I want to modify only the movement of the leg, and maybe I want it to happen later, now this leg is moving much later than the rest. So that's why we have the gray channel, which is a general view of every group, and the red channel, which is a specific view of only the group you have selected. So let me show you another use of Vitruvian bones here, and this is an example created by Edmundo Landaverde, and I think it's very nice because he created Vitruvian bones to create some smears. So you can see I have this movement of the arm, and actually there is a switch here. I mean, there is a Vitruvian bone switching. So we have actually 3 different drawings for this movement. And the nice part is that the smear is also rigged, so you can adapt this to other movements too. So this smear is not only working for one movement of the arm, it can work for any or almost any movement of the arm. So I think it's a very nice example because it shows you how flexible the Vitruvian bones can be. And to close, let me show you a couple more examples. These are examples made of characters made in Photoshop and then imported. So this is all image layers. And here you can see that, for instance, the leg, let me show you the leg here. The leg is made by 3 different drawings, so it has some Vitruvian bones. And it helps, it's very subtle, the change, but even this minimum change helps to give a better sensation of the character, because you can feel that the drawings are changing, and the same for the other leg. So you can see how different they are. And we have something similar for another character here. Let me just open this. So in this case, I always use this character to show wind, because it has automatic wind running. But if you see the arms and the legs, they also have Vitruvian bones, so you have different drawings for the arms and legs. So even some of the drawings can be on front, some of the drawings can be behind. So it's very nice to animate this, and basically you can animate in ways that were very difficult in the past. So yeah, I wanted to show you that. I think these are just some examples of what Vitruvian bones can do, but they are very powerful, and if you you can apply the same principle to different ideas. So these Vitruvian bones are not only to switch between arms and legs, you can switch anything you want. If you have a character with a rig for a face, for instance, for a front face, and you have another rig for the side view of the same head, you can switch between them. So you can have all the controls of one head on one view and all the controls on the other one. So it's very simple, it's very easy to set up, and the rigs are cleaner and they are more powerful. So we are very excited about this new feature actually, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you liked this tutorial, and thank you for watching. Bye.